I'm Eve, and that's Julia, and this is our second Signal to Action workshop. Today's the one we're calling the Impossible ICP Playbook, and it's for the buyers who never write you back. And you'll walk out today knowing how to actually reach them. And do yourself a favor, stick around to the very end because we've got a surprise in the back half that's genuinely worth waiting for. So today, real quick of who you've got on this call, because in the end, we're going to have a special Q&A session. I'm Eve, and I run brand and marketing at NextLM, 5 years of it across creative agencies, corporations, and startup. And Julia here is our founding account executive. She built our entire sales motion from scratch, and she closed this first call like it's nothing, over 10 years of doing it. And here's the part that we don't usually do. We pulled in both of our co-founders live today. Chris, our co-founder and CEO, a 3-time founder with about 20 years across finance, tech, and go-to-market, and the person who built NextLM from ground up. And Amer, our co-founder who runs Point on business development, strategy, finance, and operations. And if you stick with us till the end, we're going to open up to the floor and let you ask them anything as deep or as specific as you want. And the kind of question you never actually get to answer or get to ask on a webinar. So throw questions in the chat whenever they hit you. So here's what we kept bumping into. They're buyers you want most. A CISO, a CTO, a VP of engineering. They basically never reply to a cold email. And it's not because they're not buying. It's usually they are, but it's all hidden. A new leader may started, a deadline might be approaching, or they dropped a competitor, but you just couldn't see it happening. So here, most teams aren't short on prospects, but more on a way to catch these signals that might not be so clear. And most importantly, how to reach them first. We catch the signal, get it to the right rep, run the right play, and do it a system instead of a pile of random good emails. And we'll follow 3 people all the whole way through. A CISO, a CTO, and a VP of engineering. And quick map here so you know where we're going. So we'll see where the signal fall apart without a system, then the 4 stages, and we'll spend the most time on execute and on learn because that's where the unreachable stuff actually lives. And this is the whole thing on one slide. So what is a signal? Because people throw signal around a lot. A signal basically is just a behavior, what someone's actually doing versus what they once told the form they might do someday. For example, maybe a technical buyer is researching security scanning, comparing DevSecOps platform, or reading about shifting security left or spending time on your pricing page. And none of that is saying that I requested a demo. It's more speaking about timing. So here, why timing decides the deal. 3 numbers here. 84% of buyers already have a vendor in mind before they even talk to sales. The first rep to reach out after something changes wins about 5 times more often. And replying in 5 minutes instead of 30 is 21 times more effective. And take from that what you want, but to me, it says the same thing. The team that wins aren't smarter or better source. They just move first and they do it every time, not only when it happened to feel like it. And right, stage 1 here, we capture and prioritize. Not every signal deserves the same energy. The strong one have a tell. Someone circling the same topic over and over. Behavior tied to an actual event, a funding round, a new hire, a cluster of activities. And it fits who you actually sell. And see a few of those pile up on one call. That's your first call. And here's how we make it non-fuzzy. Score is strength time freshness times fit. And freshness matters more than people give it credit for. Yesterday and 3 weeks ago are not the same lead. For tier 1, it's 75 and up. Your account executive on the phone within an hour. And tier 2 into the SDR queue is a lighter touch and worked within 24 hours. As for tier 3, it's a good fit, but nothing's moving yet. So we hand it to nurture and don't burn it. And we rescore it every week because this stuff goes stale fast. and one more. And when 3 signals stack on the same account, conversion roughly doubles and then some. And so that's not a maybe, that's a call. So every signal has one right move. And most teams fire the same email at all of them, which is exactly why replies die. So let me walk it. A new CISO, that's your account executive, but not in week 1. They're drowning. Week 2 to 4, peer-to-peer, ask what they walked into. New execs spend 70% of their budget in the first 100 days, so the clock here is real. And if you see a competitor tool just drop, don't send them a demo link. We send them a migration run book. The money's already there. They're mid-switch. And 3 people from one company on your pricing page that you notice, and that's a committee forming. Phone within an hour and talk about the topic that I never saw you on our site. And as for funding round, tie yourself to something they literally say they spend on and move inside 5 days. A hiring spree of 5+ security roles means a tooling decisions coming, and that's your SDR. And a pain post on LinkedIn or Reddit. Reply in a thread first, no link, then DM on day 2. Going straight to DM is a rookie move. So the bottom line here is to match the play to the signal. And if we nail that, you're almost all the way home. And so now let me hand it off to Julia to show you how it works.
All right. So we're going to show you rather than describe it, because I know that listening to people say a bunch of words can be a little bit boring. So this is the NextLM screen. What you're looking at is 3 in-market prospects. They're at 3 different points in their buyer journeys, looking into DevSecOps, real people with real browsing history, and all their contact information, including company name and title. So we're going to look at the one at the top left. So you can see the action score on the right. They're more active than 96% of the buyers, the other buyers we tracked. And right under the name, that line is why now in plain English. So before we've even dialed in, the screen has already told me who to call and why. So now I click into that top person, and this is the whole view of their behavioral story. So every site they touch, how many times, how long they've stayed, laid out in order, updated live every 4 hours. So this is not static data, this is dynamic. And you don't need to read every row, just you look at the shape of it. It's not someone who's poking around on a coffee break or at 3 a.m. like I do. That's someone who's actually building a short list. So as a salesperson, this is my favorite part. You get the objections. So same profile, I scroll down. This is my favorite part. It shows you the friction points. So you can come in and almost have a battle card ready because you know what the objections will likely be. And then the last screen, it hands me the contact and one button to drop them straight into a sequence. So that is the whole loop from a name on a list to outreach in about 90 seconds. And so so here's the honest part about it. The tool just gets you to the starting line. You still have to build out a sales process because unfortunately in this world, nobody is standing there with a credit card waiting for you to walk into their arms and give it to you. So we do have to create a cadence. And so the next 2 chunks, how you actually execute and how you build the network, that's where the deals get won. So route and own. This is where most of the signal programs quietly die. It's not bad data. It's just a broken handoff. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. So 1 owner per signal, no committees, tier 1 to the AE, tier 2 to the SDR queue, and tier 3 to nurture. An SLA on each one. Tier 1 worked within the hour because that's literally where speed edge gets won. And weekly sweep that escalates anything that slipped through. A signal nobody owns is a signal you ignored. So you just did it politely. Okay, so speed is a system. It's not a personality trait. First mover after a trigger wins about 5 times more. So don't try to hire hustle, build the SLA. Okay, so stage 3, we're going to execute. So the Atlas told you what to do. Reach is how you say it without being weird. So there's 5 steps and there's 1 rule sitting at the top of them. I'm going to say this now and I will say it again. at the end. The signal informs your message. It never shows up in your message. So just hold on to that. So R, read the signal before you type a word, know exactly what happened. R, running guy, a VP of engineer at a growing fintech, poking around code and cloud scanning. That's step one. That's all. Now, E, extrapolate. Behavior only becomes a need when you ask the right questions. Before you start typing anything, what's he chewing on? What is he focusing on? So probably, do we build a security gate ourselves or buy one before enterprise deals start stalling on it? And then A, so anchor to his world. His words, not yours. Release velocity, shifting left, false positives, open with your company name, and you've already lost him. And I think we all know that. So C, connect. Give something useful before you ask for anything. Like how teams his size added scanning without wrecking their release speed. Not got time for a quick call. I know we all hit that line. And then H, so hand them the door. And make no just as easy as yes, building the relationship. So happy to share if it's useful. That's it. That the easier you make it to walk away, the more people actually stick around, which is shocking. So then you put it together, it's one line, same VP, same scanning behavior. The concern is that build versus buy call. So curious whether you're weighing building security into your pipeline versus buying a platform. Happy to share how similar teams added scanning without slowing releases. And you can see what's missing there. Nowhere does it say, I saw you were reading this article for 4 minutes and 37 seconds, because that is the fastest way to scare someone away and get blocked. And that's reach. So the golden rule, and it's basically the whole workshop, is same exact signal, 2 ways to play it. I saw you researching container security. Repeat. I'd probably block you. They go quiet. Instead, are you tightening up your build pipeline right now? Same information, but now it just sounds like it's good timing. It sounds like fate. And they're like, oh, that's actually exactly what I was looking for. Use the insight and never show the receipt. If you remember one line from today, that's it. Okay, so reach is one message. Read is your week. The loop you run on every lead, and it takes about 10 minutes. So read the story they're in, evaluate what's stopping them before they say it. Angle the message around that friction, signal still invisible, then deploy 3 touches and a reactivation. Same signal, 2 jobs, 1 for the message, 1 for the week. Okay, real one. So Priya, VP of Engineering, deal stalled on a security review. Read, she's mid-decision, not just curious, evaluate. Her team hates anything that slows deployment, and she's been pitched by every scanner on earth, so she's skeptical by default. Angle, skip the vulnerability pitch, lead with the thing reps always miss. The real cost is the developer hours lost to false positives. So deploy day 1, the angle, day 3, the insight, day 7, a permission pause, and set the 30-day reminder right now, because before you close your tabs, because you will forget. I mean, maybe you won't, but I will forget. So I have to set a reminder. And then here's the actual sequence. And I want to be careful with this one. So day 1, the angle, keep it under 5 lines. Anything past that, nobody's going to read it. And make sure there's one easy out. Day 3, if nothing, one counterintuitive insight, the false positive math, end on a soft question. Day 7, still nothing. 2 sentences, leave the door open. I'll leave this with you. And then day 30, a light reactivation. What this is not is 7 emails in 5 days. That is not persistence, that's harassment. And in 2026, it also wrecks your deliverability. Google and Yahoo will just quietly stop putting you in their inbox, send you straight to junk. So stage 4, learn. And stay with me here, because this is the part that actually cracks the impossible buyers. The real flywheel isn't a scoring model, it's your network, and the signals keep feeding it. But let me hit you with the uncomfortable number first. Hold reply rates are under 1% right now, under 1. And the MQL quality is down about 60%. Cold emails is the worst channel there is for buyers. But now there's the flip side. Warm intros close somewhere between 35 and 50 with shorter cycles and lower cost per deal. And 84% of buyers with a referral, have most decisions made before they even hit your site. So the takeaway is blunt. By the time they show up on your website, it's mostly over. You win earlier and you win through people. Okay, so here's how the signals and relationships actually click together, because this is the whole insight. Signals give you the who, an actual in-market person by name, not mid-market CISOs. And the why now, you can see the behavior, so you know it's real, but you bring the how. So the warm path, a relationship, a message a human actually wrote. Signals don't replace being someone's friend. They just tell you which friend to call today and hand you a real reason to call. So play one, there's 3 plays for this. The first one is the warm graph. So start with who you already know. 60% of CISOs find vendors through peers. So before any cold anything, map who in your orbit already touches that account and ask for a specific intro. Not know anyone. Like, don't say, do you know anyone? But you worked with so-and-so, mind a 2-line intro, I'll write it for you. This is really important. Offer to write it for them, because no one wants to do work for themselves. Honestly, at this point, everyone's way too busy. You want to make it effortless for them. And then follow your champions. When someone who bought from you lands at a new company, you should be the first name in their inbox. This is exactly where our tool earns its keep. It surfaces those in-market folks by name and pings you the second a champion moves. Second play, be where they actually hang out. So give first in the private, Slacks and forums, answer real questions, share teardowns, and never pitch. Post like a human, an actual opinion on LinkedIn on a regular cadence. That's how you build inbound you didn't chase. That is something that I love to do, making your persona online a real person rather than just randomly posting like a bot. And warm up the DMs. So engage their stuff before you message them, comment on their posts. So it feels like a continuation, not a cold call. Where we fit, we tell you who's active right now. So all that give first energy lands in front of someone who's actually already in the process of looking, actually buying instead of looking into the void, and you're just targeting a dead lift. The play, it punches way above its weight. Run small rooms. One sharp program, host a roundtable on something real, like getting a Dora ready without adding headcount, not a demo in a party hat. Get the right 8 to 12 people around it, ICP leaders, and do not pitch at the table. Follow up one after another. It's a long game. Start a month or 2 out. You'll get 15 to 30 real conversations, and pipelines show up in 3 to 6 months. We help you fill the seats and tell you which people to follow up with first. And then you make it compound. So which most people tend to forget about. 90 days in, once they're getting value, ask, who do you know that's dealing with something right now? Same thing, you're asking for it. Right after a win, while they're happy, ask for one specific intro, make it standing line in every QBR. Teams that ask systematically basically double their referral volume. So you can run all of this by hand on 10 accounts. That's totally fine. Or you let the tool watch your whole market and point you 3% actually in play. Same craft either way, just a lot less guessing. So how do you start without blowing up your quarter? So days 1 to 10 crawl. Pick 2 signals you can act on today. New CISO and a pricing visit, do them by hand with your 2 best reps and Slack alert. Just prove it works. Days 11 to 20, walk, add scoring and routing, lock your SLAs. 1 hour tier 1, 24-hour tier 2. Reps still write every touch themselves. Days 21 to 30, now you run. So now you automate it. You automate the plays you've proven and you cut whatever isn't converting. So it's a trial and error. The way this fails is automating on day 1 and scaling a bad play. Prove it works first and then roll it out.
So to summarize everything, there's 4 stages: capture and prioritize, score and tier, root and own, 1 owner, 1 SLA, and nothing dropped. Execute a known play for every signal, and the signal never shows up in the message. And learn, that's where the real flywheel is your network. Every win becomes the next warm intro. And underneath all of it, there's one line of a key takeaway. A signal is only worth as much as the system that acts on it. So if you want to go deeper, the recording and slides will hit your inbox soon, and our newsletter, The 3% Rule, is a short weekly note on exactly this. And that's the core playbook. So the 2 quick things and then the part you stuck around for. On the screen, you've got 4 ways to keep going. our newsletter, the 3% Rule, which is a short and weekly newsletter, and then a link to explore NextLM, Julia's LinkedIn, which is worth a follow for sales breakdown she posts, and a free 30-minute strategy session with Julia to show how it works on NextLM. So here, scan whichever is useful. The recording and slides will also hit your inbox soon. And now the part that we're waiting for. Our co-founders are here live, Chris and Amer. Chris built the company, 3 times founder with 20 years across finance, tech, and go-to-market. Amer's all the operator behind it with the business development, strategy, finance, and operation.
Hello, everyone. My name's Amer. I'm the one of the co-founders of NextLM. So we don't have Chris. He's on his way here to the office, and it just got caught up. We have a big announcement that we've been teasing, a partnership with Google. So he's just coming from those offices back here. But I'm here to answer your questions. I think I got one. What makes NextLM unique in the market? Thank you. Well, from our perspective, NextLM is in a category of one. We, many people try to talk about our competitors, but we don't really believe we have any competitors because we offer something that no one else does, which is in-market prospects. We know what people are buying before anybody else does. We have dynamic information that gets refreshed many times a day, every 4 hours, over 1 trillion rows of data that track people's buying behaviors and intentions. So we're nimble, we're fast moving, and we're growing. We have a value proposition that's unmatched also in the market. Many others in this space want you to sign large, expensive contracts that are multi-year, but we offer a different type of model, and we look forward to talking with you about that. You can connect with Julia or me or any of us when we can talk you through each one of our tiers and pricing. How quickly will I know if a prospect's buying behavior changes? Well, you'll know that day. As I just mentioned, our data is dynamic and gets updated every 4 hours. We talk about 1 trillion rows of data a month. 300 million people in North America, 550,000 websites that we're getting signals from. So you'll know as people are searching and going to different sites and doing comparison shopping or booking demos or looking at pricing pages, you'll know within hours. It's not clear to me which signals NextLM monitors, and are the plays customizable? Well, it's a great question. We monitor people's search histories. So if people are going to different sites, we know what sites they've been to. The play is certainly customizable. When you log in and create an account with NextLM, you will meet Stuart, who's our AI prospecting genius, and he'll help you create a core customer profile, and then we'll search for signals that match that specific customer profile. Then from there, you can create an integration, an automation in which you receive the prospects to your email or to your CRM or to one of your other outbound marketing workflows. Can you tell us about the Google partnership? Not yet. I know we've been teasing it, but I guess I'll just say this is for a company that had its commercial launch like we did in January. We had our commercial launch January 20th of this year. It's July 22nd. And so for us, for any company, it would be a very large announcement. So let's just say that we are stay tuned, stick around on our LinkedIn pages and watch our emails. In the coming days, we'll make a large announcement about that. Next question we have is, based on the signals, will the platform help craft personalized outreach? We don't have a tool that creates emails or text messages or any type of outbound marketing materials. We do integrate with all of those tools, though. So when you create an account on NextLM and have a subscription, you can just link your account at NextLM to any number of, I think there's 35 or so automations or integrations we have right now that range from, Signal to Clay to Go High Level or HubSpot to Claude and ChatGPT, and you can then create the materials you need to do your outbound marketing there. How do I know that this isn't another database with an intense score slapped on top? That's a great question. So, other platforms that purport to play in the sort of prospecting space often have some type of scoring. Our scoring methodology is very specific and very actionable based on a person's propensity to buy. So it has a number of variables. The first is how many sites have they gone to that are in that specific domain. So if you have a B2B SaaS business that sells accounting software, if somebody goes to one site, they might just be like doing a little bit of research or just checking out to see where you work. But if they go to your site and your competitor site and then a third competitor site and maybe even a fourth, that is what we believe is comparative shopping buying behavior. The second variable would be if they have repeat visits. The third would be their dwell time. And then the last is their velocity, how quickly they go back. So all of these together create our action score, which is a lot different than an intent score on other platforms. I think that's all we got right now. If there's any more questions, I'm happy to take them. You can send me an email. My email is amer@nextlm.ai. You can also use the QR codes on the screen to connect with Julia and Eve, and would be happy to continue these conversations.
Thank you so much, Amer. That was really helpful.
Yeah.
And
No problem.
And thank you so much, everyone, for taking your time to join us here. Like the key every takeaway of this call is everyone probably has signals. Your site knows, your CRM knows, your LinkedIn knows, and the information was not the issue here. But the gap is the 15 minutes between knowing something and doing something about it. So let's close that gap and you become the first call these buyers take, the one who never calls anyone back. So thank you again for spending the time with us today and stay tuned for our next workshop.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Eve.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.